We are back with you live once again on another Johnny Torch live broadcast. Broadcast number 222. 222. And Torch News Roundup number 187. Wow. I'm always surprised the show is still on. Thanks to you, great listeners. It's still on the air after all these years. How long have we been on now? Well, 3 years, I think. I don't know. I got to check that up. October, if I remember correctly, is my anniversary of sorts, right? I think I did my first show. I don't know. My first video, I think, was maybe September or October. I digress. I got to look it up. I don't know exactly when, but I'll try to get those figures to you whenever possible. Speaking of anniversaries, my sister's anniversary today, so I can't afford to get too long-winded and keep going, all hours, because I've got to, I got to make it to dinner in a little while. So we're going to get straight to the stuff, the good stuff, the stuff everybody's here for. And I want to thank you all for joining me here on this lovely Saturday afternoon, the only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch Live program. Quick reminder, you want to check out the link in the description below to find the Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. I've got to say, don't want to digress too much, but I got the 7th issue in just recently from the printer. It looks phenomenal. It is fantastic, and I'm very excited about the storyline we're working on now. I'm very happy with the way it's coming along. This is probably the most professional-looking issue I've done yet. Of course, I went back and remastered the first 3 storylines, which they are now equally as impressive. So very proud of that, very pleased with that. You can get on my website, if you check the link in the description below, you can get the second collection, which is Knock on Wood, 40 pages for $8. When the Night Comes, our third collection, 60 pages for $10. You can order them from my website. I haven't gotten a chance to put up the first collection. It's basically a remaster of the first issue with a couple afterward pages. And then, of course, the new issue, the 20-page issue number 7, which is the beginning of our next story arc. I haven't put those up yet, but I'm sure, depending on when you listen to this, I'm going to try to get it up sometime in the next week and make sure that's available for purchase. If you haven't, be sure to check out last week's broadcast. We did a Dark Shadows. Well, I call it ruminations on Dark Shadows because I don't want to say retrospective, because that would suggest that I was doing more work than just commenting off the top of my head. But I would like to be able to do more recorded videos. I think I say this all the time, though, but time does not permit it for me. So I couldn't wait, figuring it was October. It was time for a Dark Shadows discussion, the classic series. And unfortunately, like I said, I love to do recorded videos and put together a nice review package, a nice retrospective. And I've got several, classic horror reviews that I would do in the month of October. I haven't been able to get back to doing that yet. Again, this is another year where it looks like I'm not going to. I had a couple of them scripted and set up, and then, computer difficulties happened, and then I lost the files, and I lost the script, and I mean, I could have just tried to put one together, but I want to make sure I do it right, so I want to make sure I spend time on it. This book I'm working on now, issue 8, it is a killer. It is taking a lot of work for me to sort of re-ink the pages digitally, which apparently I needed to do. I had to do a little of that with issue 7, but not nearly to the extent I seem to have to with this issue. And also, there's a lot more dialogue in this story. It's sort of setting up, in the first few pages, it's sort of setting up the story that I need to have a lot of dialogue going on. And so, again, that's also kind of cumbersome. But again, check out the link in the description below. You will find The Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye on my website, and you can check that out ASAP and let me know what you think. Whoops, pressed the wrong one. Okay, so the other thing that I want to put your way is the link in the description below for my Twitter page, which we have a poll of the week question. I told you I was thinking about a poll of the week question. I want to see if I can get some more attention to this poll because we have one vote. I don't know what happened to Superhero Poll. He hasn't been around for a month. I think he's on vacation or something because usually he'll retweet these polls for a little bit of a better audience. But if he doesn't get back in time, this is your only way to probably find it. Go to my Twitter page and the link in the description below, and you will find it. The question of the week is, which are you more excited for? A potential Spider-Verse film that teams Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield, or the proposed Flashpoint film that would potentially bring back several Batman actors, such as Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, and Val Kilmer? So far, there's only one vote, and that vote is for the Spider-Verse. And I have to say, honestly, I probably would agree. I think I'm more excited about seeing Tobey Maguire back as Spider-Man than anything. But I did like Michael Keaton as Batman, so that's going to be fun to see if he does, in fact, don the costume as we're being led to believe from the footage that the, what is it, storyboards that they kind of showed us at the DC Fandom Con. So check out the link in the description below for the Twitter link, and you will be able to vote in that poll. You have pretty much a whole week still. So depending on when you're listening to this, you still probably have plenty of time. Alrighty, let's get to the business at hand. The first story we have here is something I alluded to last week in our live show. Apparently, and again, we got a little bit of lag here trying to get going. Okay. We've got some Doctor Strange news. First off, like I mentioned last week, Benedict Cumberbatch will appear as Doctor Strange in Spider-Man 3, not the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 3, but the Tom Holland Spider-Man 3, which is still, as of yet, unnamed. I'm hoping they're going to call it Take Me Home. Take me home, 'cause I don't remember when Spider-Man films were good. Yeah, all right. Let's see. Rumor has it that Doctor Strange will be taking over the role as Peter Parker's new mentor. Oh, what is it? What is it with this that they have to have Spider-Man have a mentor? Is this kid brainless or something? Spider-Man existed for like 50 years without a mentor. And he was able to take on everyone from Doctor Doom to Dr. Octopus to the Green Goblin, Venom. What is it now that he needs to have a mentor? It was okay when they wanted to sort of slide him into the MCU by means of Tony Stark. But honestly, do we need Peter Parker to have a mentor? What is it now? 6 films in? Or 7? I think it's 7 films in, right? Oh, man. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Cumberbatch has signed on to reprise the role, or if you're being sort of fussy, reprise the role of the Sorcerer Supreme for Marvel and Sony's 3rd solo Spidey adventure, and will fulfill the mentor role that was previously occupied by one Robert Downey Jr., who played Tony Stark, Iron Man in Homecoming, and by Samuel L. Jackson's Nick Fury in Far From Home. That's another one. I didn't even think of that. Not only did he have Tony Stark already as a mentor, and he's had Nick Fury as well. Everybody's shepherding this kid, and he's the flagship character of Marvel. It's crazy. It's crazy talk. I don't know. So much for the webhead forging his own path. Maybe he'll finally be ditching the training wheels in Spider-Man 14. This guy's got a good sense of humor. I like it. Joking aside, Holland and Cumberbatch have had good chemistry in the scenes they shared in Infinity War, so most fans should see this as a welcome development. Yeah, I would agree. I say the more Benedict Cumberbatch, the better. I like what he does with Doctor Strange because, quite honestly, Doctor Strange could be a fairly thankless character to play. You know what I mean? They I don't know, they sort of zeroed on what Benedict Cumberbatch does right with a character and brings out in the character, and they just do a great job with, coming up with material for him. So I say keep him around as long as possible. I remember there was rumors to the contrary saying that he was kind of like kind of like done once Doctor Strange 3 probably rolls around, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. We recently discovered that Jamie Foxx will return as Electro, and while he may not be playing the exact same version of the character from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, the Good Doctor's involvement would definitely seem to confirm that some sort of multiverse or alternative universe element will be at play in the threequel. John Watts' still untitled Spider-Man 3 will see Tom Holland return as Peter Parker, with Zendaya, Marissa Tomei, Jacob Batalon, and Tony Revolori also expected to reprise their roles. So, what are we thinking about Doctor Strange in Spider-Man 3? Well, like I said, I love Cumberbatch as Doctor Strange, so this is a welcome thing, although, again, they're kind of making the Spider-Man MCU films Marvel team-ups, aren't they? Isn't that kind of what they're doing when you look at it that way? They did it with Iron Man in the first one, Nick Fury in the second one, Doctor Strange in the third. If they continue on, like I said before, I would love to see the Hulk and Spider-Man. That was one of my favorite pairings as a kid in Marvel team-up. Also, you know, whenever the Fantastic Four come around, I would love to see that as well. The Human Torch and Spider-Man have a long history of being sort of frenemies. That would be a lot of fun. As well as, you know, anytime seeing anybody interact with the Thing. The Thing is the most underrated Marvel character. Can everybody agree with that? You know, his stock has fallen so bad in Marvel. It's just bad because when I was a kid, the Thing was one of the top, I don't know, 3 Marvel characters that were favorites. It was Spider-Man, the Hulk, and the Thing. That was my favorites when I was a kid for Marvel characters. And man, yeah, I feel bad because Aunt Petunia's favorite nephew, the lovable blue-eyed Ben Grimm, I don't know, his stock has kind of fallen in recent years. I think it's due to the, you know, the shenanigans going on with the movie rights bouncing around and so on and so forth. But yeah, I would love to see that if Spider-Man does in fact stick around in the MCU, which I guess is not guaranteed. Okay, let's jump over to the Multiverse of Madness. Deadline reports that the Babysitter's Club star, and again, you're going to have to excuse my pronunciation of the name. Whenever somebody has an X at the beginning of their name, it's kind of difficult, unless their name is Malcolm X. Xochitl Gomez. Xochitl Gomez, that's what I'm going to say, is the latest addition. Why didn't they name her like Beth? Why'd they have to make it difficult for me? Why don't you name this kid Beth or, you know, Rudy or I don't know. Wilhelmina even would have been easier. Okay, so Ms. Gomez is the latest addition to the Marvel Cinematic Universe after landing a role in 2022's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. She now joins a cast which includes Benedict Cumberbatch as the Sorcerer Supreme, Benedict Wong as Wong, Chiwetel Ejiofor. Now, that was a tough one too, I got to admit, but I got used to saying Chiwetel Ejiofor as Baron Mordo, or they just have Mordo here. I always say Baron Mordo. I don't know. When does he become Baron Mordo? He's got to get a promotion? I don't know. And, of course, the lovely Elizabeth Olsen as the Scarlet Witch. Very little is known about the sequel, but with Spider-Man director Sam Raimi in the director's chair, fans are hoping and praying that his wall crawler is revealed to be part of the Marvel multiverse. That's very true. I'm very hopeful that we're going to see Tobey Maguire don the spandex once more. One thing we do know is that the sequel will likely tie directly into the events of WandaVision. As for Gomez, there's no word on who she's playing, but young Avenger member Miss America Chavez seems highly likely. Production on the Marvel Studios movie is set to begin once Cumberbatch is done working on Spider-Man 3, so we'll hopefully get some official news soon. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness marks Gomez's first major studio tentpole after recently landing a lead role in Netflix's reboot of classic comic book series The Babysitter's Club. It's a good sign that the casting process has resumed, and it hopefully won't be too long until we learn who will suit up as Clea, the great Doctor Strange character fans are desperate to see. I still feel bad for Rachel McAdams. I feel bad Rachel McAdams got the boot. She got unceremoniously shown the door the same way as Jane Foster and Natalie Portman, and now they're bringing Natalie Portman back. So I'm sure at some point they'll bring her back. Or even more appropriate, Liv Tyler. Where's Betty Ross? I'm still waiting for Betty Ross to show up in the MCU. As a big Hulk fan, I better not get onto that tirade or I'll be here all day, but oh man, the abuse the Incredible Hulk has taken at the hands of the MCU. I can't even. I can't even right now. Maybe later, but not right now. I can't even. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Can you even with the MCU's treatment of the Hulk? I'll leave that alone. All right, there's also, this is off the record. This doesn't have anything to do with the copy that I've got here in front of me, but of course, fans were up in arms with the suggestion online that she may be playing America Chavez, many thinking that she isn't dark enough to play the Puerto Rican character, as she has been drawn, I don't want to say colored, but as the way she's been depicted. I think that's the appropriate way to depicted in the comics. So again, this seems to be kind of a non-issue where SJWs are, again, looking for problems where there aren't any. I mean, if she's a Puerto Rican character, I don't know that you can necessarily argue the skin tone. I mean, you know, it's difficult when you have a comic that is colored by different artists, and it could look wildly different given any different book with the character. So you know what I mean? I don't know exactly how you argue this. My argument is America Chavez is a stinky character, quite honestly. But again, what Marvel has done is they basically take a character and race bend them, which upsets me. And since America Chavez is not a race bent character, again, I can't complain. It just seems like kind of a you know, it's kind of another one of those diversity characters where let's make a Puerto Rican lesbian from another planet and we've checked several boxes and we're all set. I don't know. But let me know what you think. Do you think this character, or do you think this actress will even portray this character? That is not a given at all. That is not even in the official announcement here from Deadline. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will respond whenever possible. Okay, let's see. The next story we have here, we've got another casting bit of news, and this one has to do with Black Adam. Black Adam. Oh, let me see. I got so many tabs open, it's hard to find the right one. Okay, you'll be glad I did, though, because this is, and again, I hope I'm pronouncing this name right. I'm looking at the wrong copy here. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay. This actress is named Sarah Shy. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure. I've heard of the actress. I actually have heard of her. I know her. I recognize her. I just don't know how to pronounce her name. Sarah Shy. Anyway, apparently the Illuminati, you say Illuminati, I say Illuminati. They've broken that Sarah Shahai has been offered the female lead role in Black Adam. Deadline has now confirmed the fact the Reverie actress is signed on to star along Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in Warner Brothers' new upcoming DC adventure. The initial report claims that Shahai was in line to play Teth Adams' wife, Adriana Tomaz, aka Isis. But the trade only mentions that her character is a university professor and freedom fighter leading the resistance in Kandahar. I don't know anything, honestly, about Isis beyond the... What was her name? Cameron, Joanna Cameron show. So honestly, I don't know where this freedom fighter, resistance fighter thing comes from. I don't know really the character at all. My only hope is, and this is good casting. I mean, we complained last, what was it, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago about the Hawkman casting, where they're race-bending Hawkman yet again. This actress actually looks like Isis. I don't have a problem with the casting. I hope she has a costume, the little white number that I guess Joanna Cameron wore would be nice. Hopefully she's not wearing Gucci like the Legends of Tomorrow version of Isis, who they don't even really call Isis, which I think in a sense is understandable given what that name sort of is connected to nowadays. But, you know, it's kind of like that's an Egyptian character, you know, in mythology. So I think you can't be too uptight about using names like that have been used in the comics because they belong to ancient mythology. You know what I mean? I don't know. We'll see if they actually call her Isis. That'll be interesting. Justice Society members Hawkman, Aldous Hodge, and Atom Smasher, Noah Sorrento, were previously cast. The Jumi Collett-Serra directed DC Comics adventure is expected to feature the big screen debut of Cyclone and Dr. Fate. So keep an eye out for more casting announcements soon. A rumor that WB might be considering a JSA movie to the rounds recently, but that will likely depend on whether Black Adam is a financial success. Black Adam would already have commenced production if it wasn't for the industry-wide delays, but we recently found out that it's been taken off the studio's release schedule altogether and is currently undated. Not promising, to be sure, but, hopefully these things will turn out to get back on schedule pretty soon, and production will continue with all these projects that they are working on now. Sticking with Black Adam, there is another rumor here from Rumorville about a character that is going to make their debut in Black Adam. Kind of a strange one this is. Red Tornado. Red Tornado, not the one you're thinking though, might be making an appearance. Very strange. According to the Illuminati, Black Adam is going to add an unexpected character from the comic books in the form of Ma Hunkel, the original Golden Age Red Tornado. Yeah, it's taking me a second to sort of process this too. Created during the Golden Age way back in 1939, she was meant to be a parody of the increasingly popular world of superheroes and was a working mother in New York City who disguised herself as a man, calling herself the Red Tornado. With a with a pan over her head, with a pan over her pan, and some red fuzzy long johns, a blue cape, and, green boxing trunks. Decked out in a silly homemade costume, Hunkel didn't really have any superpowers beyond being strong and ultimately became an honorary member of the Justice Society of America. Later, fading into obscurity, the character returned in 2004, but was then portrayed as an elderly woman who was a caretaker in the JSA Manhattan Museum. It seems she'll play a similar role in Black Adam, as the character breakdown describes her as caretaker of the Hawkman and his museum. Caretaker of the Hawkman? It's interesting. Interestingly, it's noted that this version of Ma Hunkel will be portrayed as transgender. Why not? We got to tick some more of those boxes, and they're going to ruin Ma Hunkel. Oh, man alive. This is 2020, right? I never thought I'd see the day where these weird things would be happening. Let's see. A modern update on her cross-dressing past. She was cross-dressing? I didn't know that. I thought... Oh, I don't know. Never mind. Let me get this story over with. Despite only being a supporting character here, this is a big step forward in terms of diversity for the DC cinematic universe. And it should be fun to see what the unlikely hero brings to the table and whether they will have a future in this shared world. Yeah, that Ma Hunkle boy. Yeah. So let me know what you think in the comments below. You excited to see Ma Hunkle, the first ever transgendered big screen DC comic hero? Yeah, it should be something to behold. I'm not sure. This character, to be honest with you, I think this character would probably fit in better in Shazam. If I was, honestly, if I was doing a Shazam movie and the Shazam sequel, all kinds of crazy stuff went on in Shazam, aka Captain Marvel for some of you uptight uptight purists. They had a lot of crazy things, Mr. Mind, the caterpillar that was a genius. They had Talkie Tawny, who was like a tiger, Shazam. So I would say Ma Hunkle would probably fit in right done good there, smack dab in that movie. I would save her for that and do something with her in a sequel. But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know? Okay, so let's get on to this. This is kind of strange. I don't know what's going on with this one. You tell me. I'll just report the story and you tell me what happened. But a couple of weeks ago, we talked about She-Hulk finding its lead actress. Earlier this month, the news that Marvel and Disney Plus had found their She-Hulk broke, with multiple trades seemingly confirming that Tatiana Maslany had been cast in the lead role of Jennifer Walters. We had all assumed the deal was done and Maslany was officially on board when Hulk actor Mark Ruffalo even publicly congratulated her on landing the part on Twitter. Won't be the first time he was wrong on Twitter. I digress. The orphan black actress is now denying the reports. Quoted, "That actually isn't a real thing, and it's like a press release that's gotten out of hand." Stating during an interview with the Sudbury Star, "It's totally not. I've been connected to these things in the past, and press has gotten into it, but it's not actually a thing, unfortunately." "Yeah, I don't know how these things get. I don't know, she added when pressed. "You know better. I have no idea." Laughs. Now, this is certainly an unusual situation. Actors deny casting rumors all the time, of course, but not when it's something that's been so widely reported by several highly reputable outlets. Is it possible that Maslany has since parted ways with the project? She-Hulk is reportedly scheduled to begin production in Atlanta, Georgia, early next year. Dead to Me director Kat Corio will helm the pilot and several other episodes, while Rick and Morty scribe Jessica Gao will lead the writer's room. I gotta take a little sip here to quench my thirst. Pardon me. This is this Lipton green tea citrus. It's pretty damn good stuff. It's good to get some green tea in you when it's like still too hot for the old tea bag and steam brew. So I recommend it highly. It's very tasty, and also it doesn't have high fructose corn syrup, which is something that I'm trying to stay away from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't have it. Anyway, well, let me know what you think. Is this for real? Is this disappointing? I don't know, because I think there was talk going on that they wanted Alison Brie, right? And then we got sidetracked with this story, thinking that's the end of the story. Is she trying to like back out of this, or is this just simply, a story that just ran wild that was never actually confirmed, and everybody seemed to think it was confirmed, but it wasn't confirmed? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I don't know the actress at all. I think she looks fine. She's a looker, kind of, fine. So give her a shot. I don't know. Whatever. Let's just move on. You could tell I'm in a mood today. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm just in a mood. Okay, let's talk about I don't know if that makes for good radio, so to speak, but hopefully. Let's see. This is an interesting casting we have for Superman and Lois, the new show that is going to be coming to the CW. And I'm telling you, I'm getting more and more trepidatious about this show with every casting. I think I even missed a couple of castings. We were talking about Lana Lang. That's the last time I remember getting news from this show. And let's just put it this way, they didn't make her a redhead. I don't know. The joke that goes on in Hollywood every single time there's casting of a redhead is, they're not going to cast a redhead, a natural redhead. Well, they didn't. So now we've got another role to fill. The CW's Superman and Lois series has added Mad About You actress Sophia Hasmick in the recurring guest starring role of Chrissy Beppo, who works as a journalist at the Smallville Gazette. Now, that name sounds familiar because I remember in the animated series, they had this like portly Popeye type character whose name was Beppo. And I don't know, his tagline was always something like, his catchphrase, I guess I should say, was always soda. I want to get a can of soda. And that was allegedly Prosper's humor. I don't know. But that character, I believe, also existed in the comics. I don't know. So they either gender bended this character of Beppo, or this is supposedly, I guess, a child of Beppo. I don't know. Chrissy is described as having a knack for saying the wrong thing at the wrong time, a go-getter with dreams of bigger and better things. A chance encounter with her idol changes her life trajectory. We're going to go ahead and assume her idol is Lois Lane. It could be Superman, but I imagine in this show it'll be Lois Lane. Chrissy appears to be a character created for the show, but Silver Age Superman fans may recognize her last name, Beppo. Or Super Monkey was introduced in the pages of Superboy back in the late 50s. Yeah, that Beppo moniker goes way back. Beppo, of course, means monkey in Italian, which means that was sort of the in-joke, the Super Monkey Beppo. Super Monkey Monkey. He stowed away on Kal-El's ship before going on to join the Legion of Super Pets shortly after arriving on Earth. The series will be a little different to previous super-centric shows, as the show will focus on Clark and Lois raising a family and dealing with the stress, pressures, and complexities that come with being working parents in today's society. Why do they have to always do this for? I mean, I'm going to start getting off the beaten path again, but this is, I'm exasperated. I kind of stood away from Lois and Clark, the Dean Cain, Terry Hatcher show, because I didn't want to see it turn into a romantic comedy. And now this is going to be like a family drama. I don't mind if they can kind of do what they did on Stargirl, where it's a family drama, but they still have plenty of time with the spandex and tights, and they have plenty of time with the villain machinations, what have you. I just hope that that's going to be the case here with Superman and Lois, but I have a funny feeling we're going to spread the time so thin. You only get like whatever it is, 45 minutes on a episode with commercial breaks and so forth, and we're going to have to show how Lois is this great journalist, and we're going to have to show how the kids are struggling in school or whatever they're doing with their angst and whatever problems they're going through. And then we'll get like 10%, then we get like a good portion of it will be Clark Kent trying to learn how to school his kids and make dinner or whatever. And then the last 10% is going to be Superman having to stop some freak of the week with some stupid, contrivance or whatever. Anyhow, if it sounds like I'm down on the show, I am kind of looking forward to it. I wouldn't say I'm loathing it or dreading it or anything, but I don't really have high hopes. Let's put it that way. So, all right, I'll say goodbye to Beppo, and let's see what's next here. I'm going through my notes like erratically. I have no idea where I'm. Actually, that's it for my notes. The only thing we have left is let's take a look at those Batman photos that surfaced online over the past week. There's some interesting pics that I'm sure you've seen most of them, but maybe some of them you haven't seen. Maybe there's some of them you have. Let's start with this one. This is apparently some kind of funeral that the Penguin and Bruce Wayne and Selena Kyle is. I can't really see who else is in this scene. But again, as I said on Twitter, if you were to see this photo and you didn't know this movie was called The Batman, would you think this was from The Batman? Honestly, I mean, they make a big deal about Colin Farrell being unrecognizable, which is fine, but I still don't really recognize him as the Penguin either. He's got an umbrella that you can barely see. So, I mean, that's sort of one of those wink at the camera type things. They did that all the time, too, on Gotham. I don't think he's going to have a gun umbrella or whatever. I don't know. I mean, they're not letting him dress up with the monocle and everything and the top hat. Bruce Wayne, of course, looks, I don't know, beyond weird with his weird Shem-Howard hairdo. We've mentioned all this before, I know. The race-bent, race-changed, black-washed Catwoman. I mean, I don't know. I see nothing in this film to get me excited to want to see it. And this is, to me, going to be like a rental when it comes out finally on something that I can see it for cheap or free. Because I don't know. I'm so fed up with them not doing right by these characters. And we already had done the realistic approach on Batman with Nolan. And it worked for the most part. To some extent, it worked. I mean, you can do Batman as a crime drama. But, you know, it was just a testament, I think, to be honest with you, with the writing. The writing in Batman Begins and Batman, and The Dark Knight was really good. And that kind of is what let me, you know, not be quite so picky on, well, Heath Ledger really didn't look like the Joker. It looked like a guy smearing makeup on his face. You know what I mean? But that was actually the first time they wrote the Joker well in live action. I mean, that's to take nothing away from Jack Nicholson. He was actually a more fun, I would argue, Joker. But the relationship between Batman and the Joker, spectacular in that one. The whole, you know, you complete me, and we're destined to go on like this forever, and you know, it's never that easy with the Joker. I mean, these are all lines that could have come out of a 70s Batman comic, you know? I mean, that's what made it so compelling. But I mean, the visuals, I don't know. And it's the same thing here. It's like, they don't have the visuals. Are they going to put together a compelling story? I don't know. But without the visuals, that to me is half the battle. And that's pretty disappointing to me. Let's take a look at another one. Let's see here. This one made some waves on the computer on the internet, I guess, because it is showing a Batman with a gun in his holster. Now, the problem is, I wouldn't put it past them, honestly. I wouldn't put it past them to give him an actual gun, an actual handgun. Now, some people are saying it could be a grappling gun. I've never liked the grappling gun that looks like a gun. They used that in the Michael Keaton version too, and I hated it there. Because I don't think Batman, who refuses to use a gun, a handgun, or any kind of gun, is going to make his grapple gun based on the shape of a handgun. That's why in the animated series, he's got this wrist gauntlet that sort of just shoots up the bat rope or whatever. It doesn't look like a gun. And so they could very well make it look like a gun again, but I hate that look because it betrays Batman would not want to have a handgun in his possession. Looks like we also have the faux Catwoman there in the scene. The bat cycle looks amusing. It's got the little bat ears. I don't know if that was meant to look like that or if that's just sort of a wink again that, well, gee, it happens to have bat ears, you know, sort of like the Catwoman outfit in The Dark Knight Rises. He may or may not be wearing a cape in this scene. Looks like they're trying to put it back on him. This, of course, is the stunt doubles. So I wouldn't put it past them to get rid of the no-kill rule again for this version of Batman. When will Hollywood learn? I don't know. Like I said before, if you're interested in my musings on how the Batman should be done in live action. I did a video for that, a soapbox, in fact, called The 5 Things Every Batman Writer Should Know, or something to that effect. And we got one more here. Let's take a look. A closer look at the costume and the Bat Cycle. And the Bat Cycle don't look too bad. I would have had it looked a little more decked out, like a little more armored, you know what I mean? So that you could see if maybe he would be a little more protected if there was bullets flying at him from the front. I would have probably had the neck of the bike like up a little higher or something, so that it would like have a shield there, sort of. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking. And of course, there's the Batman costume, which I honestly don't think looks too bad, but the lower half looks really, really weird. I mean, it's like, I don't understand. It looks like it's just like, I guess this might be part of the story, but it looks like some overall thing that he just like threw on, and he put some armor over the top of it or something. I don't know. The mask, though, looks much better than, I think it deserves to. Although I think the ears could be a little bit better. They're kind of thin, short, and too far in the back. They should be more to the side. But that's just my opinion of how the Batman cowl should look. The rest of it, though, looks pretty good. The cowl, I mean, I like that kind of forehead mold where it looks like it's shaped sort of the way the original Cane and Finger comics had Batman, and you can see it in the Adam West version. He had that dark sort of front plate, and then it was blue in the back. Of course, we're never getting a blue Batman. I don't know why, but I always want to see blue Batman costume. I mean, it doesn't have to be quite as bright as sort of the classic Silver Age and even Bronze Age, but just make it a little bit lighter than what they've been doing. All right, so there you are. There we have it. Thank you once again, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comments below about any of the subjects we've touched on today. We got some pretty good information here about several topics, and let me know what you think about Batman. You actually interested in this movie, The Batman, or The Batman, I guess, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about the Johnny Torch Live broadcast. We try to come to you at least once a week, sometimes more, but we try to do a live show every Saturday afternoon. The only way to spend your Saturday here with us on the Johnny Torch program. And check out the link in the description below if you want to vote in that poll, the Poll of the Week question on Twitter. And also, of course, check out the Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. You can check out that link in the description below, where you will find the most recent issue. Will be updated there pretty soon for you to purchase. And you want to support indie comics, this is the way to do it, people. I mean, guys want quality comics. I'm giving it to you at extremely low prices. I'm not really making anything on these comics, but I'm trying to bring the gift of comics back into the lives of those who so desperately desire it. And again, it's the best comic book that I don't want to say nobody has read. I know I've got a couple of fans out there that do read diligently, but if you haven't yet, give it a chance and let me know what you think about the Adventures of Bullets, Bourbon, Private Eye. So, until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.